Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be doing something very exciting. So for the year 2020 I have been obsessed with cream makeup. Like I just have really been liking like that really effortless minimal makeup, but like still look glamorous type makeup vibe. And after I took a masterclass with Patrick Ta through ColourPop, I have been obsessed with cream makeup. I think that's really what like got me more interested in cream makeup, because I just saw how beautiful it looked on the skin and how skin-like it looked. And that is one of my favorite things. Like I hate my makeup looking cakey. I don't know about you guys, but I haven't been wearing as much makeup as I usually do. Like I rarely have time to do my makeup. The times that I do, it's like very minimal, and I feel like a lot of people are kind of feeling the same way. Like it's like they don't have anywhere to go, so what do I need to do my makeup for? I have fallen in love with like cream makeup because it just looks so natural, it looks so skin-like, and it's really easy to do. So I actually discovered this brand called SEINT IIID, and I was just like going on Instagram Reels one day and I saw this girl that had this palette, and it had like her whole entire makeup routine all in one palette, and I was like, that is so cool. I was like, oh my gosh, I would love to like have my own custom palette, but I'm sure it's probably super expensive, just because I know the price of makeup, and like especially good quality makeup, it's going to be expensive. So I couldn't even imagine like having a whole entire curated palette being less. I thought it was going to be like $300 or $400, right? But then I found out what the brand was, which is SEINT IIID, and then I started looking more into it and started finding more and more people talking about it. And like I'm like, why have I never heard of this brand before? And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna jump on a whim here and I'm gonna sign up to become an artist, which pretty much means that I can help like color match people, curate their own personalized palette for their own needs. On top of that, I get an artist kit too that comes with a bunch of different colors that I can use on other people and myself. And I was like, this is perfect for my freelance kit, because I'm always looking for like ways to condense my kit so that I'm not carrying around so much. Because if anyone has ever carried my makeup like bag, just the one big makeup bag that I have, because I have like 5 of them that I bring with me, but there's one that I have in specific because it's so heavy. Everybody that I give it to, I'm like, this is heavy, and they don't believe me, and then they grab it and they're like, oh my gosh, what's in here? It's heavy. So I love this idea because it's like all your makeup routine is all in one compact place. So this is what the palette looks like. This is an empty one. So they have different sizes. I have 3 different sizes right here. So just depending on how much makeup you have and like what you all want to carry, you have different like palettes. And this is like perfect for me because I do my makeup a lot in the car. I'm always carrying around this big old caboodle or like some kind of makeup case. Even though this is nice because, you know, you have all your stuff in here and like you have a really great mirror and all this stuff, it's really inconvenient to do your makeup in the car with that big old thing. Having something like this, it's just so much easier. So anyway, bottom line, I am now officially a SEINT artist. This is what the palette kind of looks like. It has a mirror here, and you guys can see my cream products right here. So they come in these really great tins, which makes it super efficient, super easy. They also have eyeshadows too, and powdered highlighters. And then just so you guys can see, this is what my bronzers look like. And this thing is not as packed because I put most of my stuff in here. This is what a quad would look like. So you have the mirror, and then you have your shades right in here. Obviously these are all light shades. If you guys are interested in getting color matched and whatnot, you guys can check out the link down below. I will have 2 different links. One where you can submit a form so that I can best color match you. It's really simple. It's just a few questions on your skin type, and then you send me a selfie so that way I can best create a palette for you. And with all of that being said, I'm going to be showing you guys how I do my makeup look, using only cream products. And I'm going to be using mostly SEINT products since that's the cream products that I have. So I'm going to zoom you guys on in a little closer. As you guys can see, my skin is freshly washed. There's no makeup on it. I did do my skincare routine, which is so important. You guys need to make sure that you guys are doing a skincare routine before you do your makeup, because if you ever notice that your makeup isn't looking good on your skin, it's most likely because your skin needs some kind of hydration or something before that. So as you guys can see, I do have some pretty dark circles. My makeup from SEINT IIID, and then I'm also going to use a few other like products too. Like I'm gonna use the Kat Von D brow pomade just because I don't really have a cream brow product yet. Although you can use the contour shades for your eyebrows, but the contour shade that I have, a little bit too warm for my brows, at least the way that I like them filled in. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into the Kat Von D brow pomade in the shade dark brown. Now they do have contour shades which you could double up as a brow pomade, but the shade that I want for my brows don't have it yet, but it is on my wish list. And they also have like brow pomade or brow wax too that you can use to like kind of tame your brows some. So all I'm doing is I'm just creating a line, and then I'm taking the spoolie end of this brush. I am going to then fill in the front of my brows. So yeah, I think the shade that I want to get is called Cola, and I don't have that shade because it's a little bit of a cooler tone brown, and the one that I have is really warm. I need to do my eyebrows so badly. They look like a hot mess. Okay, so that is what my brow looks like filled in. As you guys can see the difference there. And then what I'm going to go ahead and do take my highlight shade right here. So their foundations are called highlights because their like method, Saint Beauty's method, is like highlighting and contouring to create that perfect 3D makeup look. So I'm just taking that shade. It's called Goddess. That is the shade that I use as my foundation shade. I kind of actually mix two because I'm kind of in between my summer and winter shade. So you guys can see the difference here with my brow looking more highlighted and lifted. With cream products, I find that it's best to use a synthetic brush. So these Luxie brushes that I'm not a big fan of for the most part, I think would work great for this type of makeup. Saint does have brushes too, and they're all double-ended, kind of like this Luxie 249 brush. I don't have any of their eye brushes, so I'm going to use this one and this shade right here, which is called Nude. And I'm just going to go ahead and create a really simple makeup look with this. It's going to give you that nice, like, effortless look. And I'm just going to buff that all in my crease and then take some of that shade right next to it, which is called Saffron, I believe. Same exact brush, and I'm just going to plop that onto my eyelid. And this is going to kind of give us some more dimension to our eye. Kind of creates like a subtle, soft, smoky eye. Very, very simple to use. Then I'm going to take a little bit of the pearl shade right there, which is a highlighter shade, or an illuminator shade, I should say. And I'm just going to plop that right on my eyelid, just to kind of give you some brightness. And the great thing about cream makeup is that it's pretty long wearing. Especially this stuff, I've noticed it's really, really long wearing. So I love that. So I know I look a little bit crazy right now, but just trust the process, trust it. Okay, I'm gonna take a little tiny bit of indigo again, and I'm just gonna create a nice little wing on the outside of my eye. So what I like to do is I take a brush, or if I have like an eyeliner, but in this case I'm using all cream, and then I create my wing and I open my eye as I do it, and then I just take it right here. And just depending on how like big I want the wing. I feel like when we close our eye, we create shapes on our eyes that aren't actually flattering. Versus when you open your eye, you see how your eye is going to look like most of the time. Because our eyes are usually open more often than they're closed. Except for when you're sleeping. So this way, you can see what they'll look like. So it's easier to create your little wings and stuff like that. I do have their double-ended brushes. So this one is going to give you more fuller coverage. This is going to give you like medium coverage. I like to color correct my face because I have, as you guys can see, some dark circles here. And then right around here it gets really like dark as well too. And what you want to see is you just want to see what the undertones are of the darkness. So I can see that right around here it's like more bluish green, and right here it's also kind of blue. So I'm going to take an orange corrector. So this is actually the shade called Papaya, which is one of their highlighter shades. And I'm going to go ahead and apply that onto my face like so. And then I'm also going to correct around my mouth. Now, not every single person needs to color correct, and honestly, it is just an extra step. But I personally like how my face looks better when I color correct. It does look a little crazy at first, but trust the process, girl. Then what I'm going to go ahead and do is take my sponge, and I'm just going to go ahead and lightly blend all that out. This is the sponge from Saint, I think it's called the Perfector sponge, and it is a really nice sponge. I like it because it's dense enough where it's not going to get rid of the coverage, but it's also soft enough where it's not going to feel really, really hard. I also really like the SEINT IIID sponge. I feel like that one would be really good. You want to make sure that the sponge that you're using is not too soft, because if it is too soft, I feel like those tend to absorb the most product and you're gonna end up applying way more than you want to. Grab this shade right here, which is called Goddess. Like I was saying earlier, I am kind of a mix between two different colors. So I'm just gonna go ahead and stamp that in the areas that I want it. So I like taking it all around my jawline, on my chin, cover up all of that. We're going to cover our nose, a little bit on the forehead. And then I'm gonna go ahead and take this shade right here. It's called Wheat. I use that one to brighten underneath because I just like a brighter look underneath my eyes. You don't have to do a brighter look, but I personally really like it. And just applying that right underneath my eye. And I'm also gonna kind of faux contour my nose. So I'm just gonna apply that right on the outsides of my nose like that. I'm also gonna apply it right down the center of my nose, a little bit on my chin. It's gonna add some brightness, and in the middle of my forehead too. Now, it might look a little crazy right now, but just trust it. So the cool thing about this product is that they're contour shades and bronzer shades. Everything except for their cream illuminators give you coverage. So I'm going to take the shade called Indigo, which I like to use as my contour, and I'm using it on the smaller side. And I'm going to go ahead and apply that. So this is actually where my cheekbone is, right here. So I like to just apply it a little bit higher than that, because when I blend it, it's going to blend up. I did kind of apply it a little bit down by mistake. So I'm going to show you on this side because it's a little better. So right here is where my cheekbone is. You can kind of see that little like line right there. That's my cheekbone. So I apply it like right on top of it, and then I also make sure not to go too far. So I try not to go past like this part of my eye right here, because I feel like when you go in too far, that's when you tend to look muddy. And it is looking really, really crazy, but just trust it. Which usually I would like grab an ashier shade for my nose contour, but I feel like this one works pretty well. And also because I have a very like narrow forehead right here, but it's also really wide here, and I don't like how high it is here. So I'm going to contour my forehead how I want it to look. And I also always put some right here above my brow, right where my arch is. And I also make sure to put some right here by my temple. And that is what we look like right now. We look crazy, but watch this. And honestly, this doesn't usually take me this long. It's just I'm explaining everything as I do it. I'm going to take the sponge, and I am just going to blend everything out. And honestly, you could do this with your fingers and it would blend everything just as nice. Which, if you guys are interested in me showing you that, I would love to show you how to do everything with your fingers and the sponge. Okay. Look at this. You guys see how I don't look crazy anymore? I just like to take the butt of the sponge, or the back of the sponge, and just do a final blend. And I'm also using that kind of to clean up my contour too. Just because on this side I did make it a little bit lower than I wanted. And I know the line is really sharp right now, but I'm going to fix that. Hold on. Alright, so that is what we are looking like. I'm going to go ahead and take the cream blush right here. This is in the shade called Saffron, I believe is what that shade is called. And I'm going to go ahead and take the bottom of the sponge. I love doing this for blush. And I'm just going to go ahead and apply that to the apples of my cheek and kind of like blend it into my contour. You see the difference here between here and here, like how I have color now back in my cheek. Okay, and then I'm going to just take the cream illuminator, which is alrighty. So I just went ahead and apply that right on top of my cheekbones. You guys can see the beautiful glow that it gives my skin, and my skin still looks like skin. You guys saw how crazy I was looking earlier, and right now it just looks really, really good. Like, I've really been loving this, and it lasts all day long. And honestly, if you have oilier skin, I highly set your face with some kind of powder, whatever powder is your favorite. Saint does have a powder, but I think it's more for like drier skin. And I know this is technically cheating, but you know what? I need a little bit of powder in my oily spots because I just like to set all that because I feel like it's not gonna budge, because no matter what makeup you use, your makeup is always gonna budge at the end of the day, especially if you're oily. If you're dry, it might not budge. You might be okay with not setting it, because I know a few people who are dry that use like cream makeup and it does not budge on them at all because their skin is so dry. But if you have like wrinkles or anything like that, it will settle into there if you don't set it correctly. So I'm just setting it in the areas where I know that I tend to get really oily. I'm not setting my whole face, it's just part of my face, and you guys can kind of already see how that did like lower the intensity of the dewiness that we had going on. And I'm just going to go ahead and take some of that liquid illuminator or cream illuminator, apply that into the inner corners of my eyes right there. And then I'm going to go ahead and take a mix of that, these two shades right here, so saffron and nude, and we're going to apply it onto our lip because these are lip and cheek colors. And I'm just going to define my lips a little tiny bit with that indigo shade, almost like creating a little bit of a lip contour. So I'm just taking a little bit of that lip pearl, or that pearl color, and putting that right on top. Then I am going to set my makeup in place and finish it all off with a little mascara. I love me a good Thrive Cosmetics moment. This is my absolute favorite mascara of life. The cool thing about this mascara is that it is a tubing mascara. What that means is like it comes off with warm water and it's going to come out in little tubes. So the first time you do it, it's going to look like your eyelashes are falling off, but it's really just the mascara that's coming off in little tubes. And I've also noticed that this does help my eyelashes grow too. Okay, so that is what we're looking like right there. Really, really fresh, really natural. Yeah, if you guys, like I said, no pressure at all, but if you guys want to try out Saint Beauty, and if you guys want me to help you curate your own custom palette, whether if it is this big size right here, or if it is the small basic size, or the medium size, which is what I personally recommend because I feel like you can fit in those 2 extra products that will that can work as either like your corrector or your blush or whatever extra shades that you want to add in there. Definitely check out the form down below so that you guys can send me your selfies and I can help color match you and curate a palette for you. Also, if you guys want to shop Saint Beauty, definitely check out my link down below. So yeah, I am really, really loving this. You have it on your skin, like it literally feels like I just put on a bunch of moisturizer on my skin. Like it doesn't even feel like I put on a bunch of makeup right now, which I totally did. You guys saw how crazy I looked, but look at that. Like I'm looking chiseled, I'm looking snatched. It was very, very simple. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video and that at the end of the day, you guys learned something, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Until then.